One thing I'm observing is just my mind and the way it always wants to escape from whatever thing it's doing, right? Like right now, this challenge of only consume or only producing and eliminating production, eliminating consumption as much as possible. So eliminating as much of the internet and reading books, etc., as I can, so I can just raw produce as much as I can, and obviously within reason, right? It's not perfect, but as much as possible, basically 99%. I still stretch and listen to a podcast, and I still do my workout and listen to music that I didn't make myself, and I'll check email and text messages from family, but otherwise I don't really consume, right? And even email, I only get spam basically, so I'm not really consuming much. I'm just cleaning up my inbox. And so at this point, I keep going back and forth, right? Because like I keep wondering about one, I want to actually produce something that is pretty cool, right? Like or that I think is cool, and then other people appreciate that be the ultimate goal. Find what I enjoy doing the most. So searching for that, and I think this is helping me do that actually. Um, But at the same time, I think there is something beautiful about consuming other people's art and reading books. I think it's one of my favorite things. And so the cadence is what I have to find, right? I was thinking maybe 7 days, maybe 10 days. So like a 1 to 10 ratio would be good of 1 day of just consuming. But now that I think about it, I think 2 days, even 2 days is really difficult that I've done so far, right? And it reminded me of that experiment that I think some journalists did, or maybe a few people have done, where they kind of went off the internet for a month and it wasn't that fun, right? And so that's what I'm trying to think about. I think I need to um, figure out what's worthwhile doing and what works, right? Because I gotta watch out for, getting into depressive state and figuring out um, how to stay producing. And so far, I have been producing, maybe not all the time, right? Obviously, and maybe in burst. But I guess at the end of the day, I'm also meditating a lot, so it might be worthwhile doing just so I could do 60 days of meditation at one point, like 1 hour or more, where I'm just literally meditating, which I kind of consider these recordings to be meditative to some extent. Normally, I might be having these thoughts on my own inside my head, maybe less filtered, right? And maybe they would be even more scattered, but they are pretty scattered now, so I think it's close enough. And I'll do both, right? I think I'll get tired of recording I'm not recording everything now anyway, but I'll go through bursts of recording thoughts that come, like this thought came, and instead of just thinking about the thought, the reflex now is to record it. And I am enjoying that learning, that I do enjoy recording my thoughts, because then I can re like I've said before many times, I can reprocess them myself and just keep iterating on them and seeing what other thoughts come. And they're going to be repetitive, but that's just a process, and they might be offensive, or they might be, not the best thoughts. Just literally kind of rambling and stream of consciousness style. So I suppose I should eventually, not eventually, but I should keep an eye on it and see what the threshold is, because I feel like at the end of the day there's gonna be potentially an extreme, right? Like a super crazy version, and even doing it for a long time. Yeah, I'm afraid a little bit of downside, but also there might be like a happy medium, right? But I don't know, because I haven't done a longer version. There could be like a benefit to, like I was saying before, to just getting out all the boredom. And I have done this to some limited extent when I read deep work of practicing just being more bored and not doing anything on purpose, right? And also trying to push off using the internet to look something up, even just 5 minutes, because you often found, according to deep work, that you don't need it or you can wait and maybe figure it out. And so I have found some of that to be true with my own experiment where my my need to look something up is actually maybe a false alarm, right? Sometimes I can just come up with it on my own and my brain is just being a little bit lazy and it's not wanting to do that work. But if I push it to do it, I think it can pull up some stuff from, I don't know, back in the back of the library where it can barely pull something out, but it can. And so that's kind of what I found. Or I can try to derive it, right? And try to make it up. And so part of me thinks, okay, I could approach it like usually when I eat, like I talked about this before, I consume, right? I consume some video or something or read a book while I'm waiting for food. And so allowing myself to do those things while I'm eating, since I'm very mindful of my eating habit and I have decent control over it, because I weigh myself daily. It's one of the crazy habits that I have. Even though my weight has gone out of control before, while been traveling, I was able to bring it back because it's something that really freaks me out. And so maybe that might be another place. Like right now, I have two main places where I do it: the workout and stretching, right? And that stretching is maybe like 15 minutes to 20 minutes max, and the workout is 30 minutes max. And the workout is really helpful because it gives me energy, and I noticed that, right? So now I try not to miss a single workout. But if I was to expand it, I think my intuition says that for food it could be okay because it's restricted, right, by my diet in itself and my desire to not eat too much. But if I keep adding, for example, like I had the idea maybe after a certain time or 1 hour per day, right? The problem with that I see is that it might be just enough where I don't have the need to process or create. So I don't have the need to self examine and I don't have the need to create because I have enough consumption in that day to kind of keep me going. But I don't know. So maybe I should try that too. Maybe I should experiment with now I did 2 days. It's a lot tougher than I thought, but it's also a lot more rewarding than I anticipated. Um, and now I have to decide kind of what to do next because part of the idea, I guess in the back of my mind, maybe I didn't articulate this, is that I would curate and release some of the stuff that I made, right? Like even if it's bad or not great or embarrassing, especially, um, figure out a way to release it. And the other thing, I guess I'm starting to do is like I have some other stuff that maybe I want to release that I never did or polish it and just get it to the last little point where I could publish it somehow, whether it's a poem or something along these lines. So that's very exciting. And actually, the more I talk about it, the more I want to find the balance where I could actually push myself to actually release the stuff. So maybe it could be 2 days of uh, production retreat, 1 day of trying to get it all out, right? And right now I hit the limit for uploads on YouTube, but I have some YouTube videos already made. They're just voice recordings. And then I still have to figure out where to put the music. I think I'm gonna use the blog for poetry and other maybe transcribe some of the voice recordings. I don't know. I don't even know if it matters. Maybe the poetry is what matters for now, like prioritizing that. I have some random images that I need to figure out where to put them. Maybe Flickr, maybe Instagram. Um, and so yes, so 2 days of production and 1 day of kind of getting it out there, and then maybe 1 day of consumption, and then 2 days of production again, and 1 day of getting stuff out there. Even though it might be better if I could just streamline it so I constantly just get it all out there all at once consistently without having to do it in batches. Maybe I can do it as I create things. And that might also remove inhibition from wanting to not publish something because it might be offensive, or I made some dumb um, comment, or I just mispronounce something, or I'm making it up as I go. That might remove inhibition if it's just constantly getting out there.